guys don't have a clue what it means to die preparing? Oh yeah, yes, please.
To become free from material desire is sannyas.
Because free from what?
Become sannyasi.
Become a sannyasi.
For Krishna, like this to become free from Krishna.
Okay. Well, the good news is we don't all have to become sannyasis to die before we die, otherwise that would tell half the population. Oh, you have to translate? No?
Someone's asking that it's on FM.
Oh.
Already been done. I want to say something.
I'm sorry. Oh, you can say something.
Yeah. To me, dying before dying means finishing off all business that needs to be finished before the body is finished.
Okay, finishing off all unfinished business. Okay. So, yes. Where's the mic? Mic. Pass it back.
Losing material identity and getting the spiritual identity.
Letting go. What?
Losing the material identity and getting the spiritual identity.
Losing the material identity and getting
Identity.
identity. I'm getting the spiritual identity. Okay. That's better than remedy. Okay. So, what is the purpose of our life? What's the purpose of our life? Love of God. Shout it out.
Regarding the relationship with Krishna.
Use up developing our relationship with Krishna. Go back to Godhead. Awakening our dormant Krishna consciousness. To what? To die properly? Actually, that's the purpose of life, like in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? British Maharaj asked the question, what is the duty of a man about to die? And we're all about to die. The duty is to prepare for the ultimate that we're all about to die. That's really what this life is about. Prepare for death. So we want to prepare for death throughout our life. Right? That's what it is. It's like we're preparing for the ultimate, the last test. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise now. The ones that are way back. Is there a purpose for you to be way back there? Come on. No? Translation. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're excused. All right, we're going to do a meditation. So we're going to close the doors. Everybody who wants to be in on the meditation, please come in. Because in the middle of the meditation, you're not going to get it. Please come in and close the doors. Okay. Well, is somebody out there to receive it? It's inside the temple. Okay. Let's see if I can put off the exercise. Let's see. Okay. Is he coming here to this room?
Is he coming up?
Is he coming to this room?
He is inside the temple, somebody is guiding him.
So, does anybody have paper and pencil or a phone that they can write on? Does anybody have something that they can record something on? Yes? Yes. And if you don't, maybe ask somebody for these paper. Phones work too, you can write on your phone. So I want everybody to have that ready. Because after the exercise, you're going to have to be writing down some things. And just be ready for that. what do we do to prepare for that? What do we do?
So my understanding about the Vedic practice is that basically we have to know the level of consciousness that when we are time we are able to remember Krishna. And for doing that, whatever is necessary to get to that level of consciousness, whether it is chanting or other research masters, other research Vedic gurus or Vedic themselves. So whatever way we connect, that consciousness is such that we are about that.
Okay. Please.
We should remember that this is today is our last day.
Today is our last day. Wait, past time.
Like this, running a test is just master class. So we should be able to try 24 hours a day and body with special mind. Because at the time of the present mind makes the soul. So that is the mind and the rest of God is significant. Just try it.
Yep, we got a lot of mini tests for the ultimate test. So, what is it that we can take with us when we leave this body? What do we take with us? Consciousness. Our subtle body goes with us. So consciousness is really important. Where is our consciousness? We could be chanting, but if our consciousness is not there when we're chanting, then we're not really being conscious. We can be very surface, but if you're thinking about the things, then our consciousness is not there in the surface. So consciousness is most important. So, did the books come in? It's so frustrating. I guess I have to die with that frustration and see what does Krishna want in this moment. Maybe he wants me to wait for some other people to come before we do this. Are the books here? Yeah. Okay. Yay! All right. Now.
There's something else.
So I want you all sit in a chair, and I want you to close your eyes. And the person who's translating is going to have to translate quiet. And try to be closer. Maybe you can sit in a circle. Just do this exercise so you can, kind of like sit in a little circle. That way. So if you want to close your eyes, no peeking, close your eyes, and we're going to do meditation. We're in the car, and we're in the front seat, and the driver is driving us to an important engagement. And we're late for the engagement. And we say, Joey, he's hurting. And so the driver is weaving in and out of the traffic. And another driver is approaching. And they try to move out of the way. Bam! We're hit. The next thing you know is everything is dark. It's black. We don't know where we are. We don't know exactly what happened. We can't see anything. And we're scared. We don't know where we are. Did I die? What happened? Where am I? What's going on? And then we hear some voices in the background. And one of the voices says, "Are you ready?" And then we hear another voice saying, "This person's in a coma. They're in a coma. they really had a bad accident. We don't know if they're going to make it through. We don't know what's going on inside of them right now. We don't know if they have a brain injury or what. But we don't know if they're going to live or not. Then we hear the voice say, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" And our mind starts racing. Our mind starts racing. Am I going to die? Our mind is racing. We weren't expecting this. We weren't ready. We were rushing for our engagement. What thoughts come into your head? It's the first thoughts that come into your head. There's no right answer. The first thoughts. Just open your eyes briefly. Write down the first thoughts that come into your head. Right now. Just 2, 3 thoughts. Write them down. Note them down. Everybody should be noting something down if they can, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to have to report, and you're not going to be able to remember it all. So if you can write it down, that would be really good. You have a phone that you can write on. You have a phone? Somebody have a paper? So everybody writing down what their first thoughts are? So now, what are your worries? What are your fears? Write down the worries and fears. Write down what are your worries and your fears. Write them down. Right now. This is today. This is happening today. You're in a coma. It's happening right now. What are your fears? What are your worries? Who are you worried about? What are your attachments? Write down the attachments. What are the persons you're attached to? What are the things you're attached to? What is it that you're afraid to let go of? Keep writing. Write as much as you can. Just let it flow out. Let it all pour out. Your fears, your worries, your attachments, your concerns, people. Start naming people you're worried about. Keep writing. Just keep writing as much as you can. Let it flow out. Start thinking even deeper. Let's go a little deeper. What are your regrets? What do you regret? What is it that you wanted to do and you thought you were going to do it? You promised yourself you were going to do it, and you didn't do it. What are your regrets? What are you guilty about? We're dying here. We're in a coma and we're dying. This is a new person that came in, we're dying. So we're writing down the things that are coming into our head as we die. What are our worries, our concerns, our attachments, our regrets? Are we ashamed of something? Is there something that we've been hiding our whole life and never told anybody? And we regret that. We wish that we would have done something about that. Are there any grudges we're holding against other people? Are there names of people that we can write down? Names of people that we have some upset with, something that we didn't clear up. If we had the chance to wake up and get out of this coma, who would you want to talk to? What would you want to tell them? Write down the names of people. Write down all the names of people that you have any upsets about. What do you want to tell them? What do you need to say? Who do you want to ask forgiveness from? Who do you want to say you're sorry to? Write down the names of the people you want to say you're sorry to. Even for the littlest things. And who do you want to forgive? Even if they don't say they're sorry, who do you want to let go of your grudge against another person? Who do you want to forgive and let go of your grudge? Make a list of names that you want to talk to before you go. This is your last chance. Anybody you need to say anything to before you go. And think of specific names. Think of specific names. This is a very personal process. It's very personal. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody knows. Does anybody need any more time to just write a few more things down, last things? Regrets, lamentations, attachments, fears. Who do we want to forgive? Who do we want to ask forgiveness from? Get it all out. It's your last chance. You should give you a chance. You had the last chance to clear all your karma before you go. What are the things you want to do to clear your karma? What are the things you want to do to clear out the space, clear your consciousness, so you can go clean? Passions, addictions. Bring it all out. Get it all down. Go deeper. Is there anything left? You were given another chance. You were given another chance to live. After all this, if you were given another chance to live, how would you begin your life anew? This is a new question. If you said, oh, Krishna, just let me live. I'm not ready to go yet. Let me live. Just give me one more chance. What are the things that you would want to do if Krishna gave you one more chance to come out of that coma and live? What would you do? What would you make important in your life after you had your chance? One last chance to live. What would you make important in your life? What would be something that you would really want to take on and you would not procrastinate any longer about? Okay, I'm going to give you 30, 40 more seconds to finish up. Any more names of people you can think of? Just on the side. Any more names? Any more things? Okay. Is everybody complete? 30 more seconds. Anybody need more time? Raise your hand if you need more time. One. Anybody else? Everybody complete? Is everybody ready? Everybody's ready? Yes? Okay. So now, I want to hear from you. And I want to hear what did that, you keep those papers, those are for you, because we're not done with them yet. But at this point, I want to hear what did that exercise bring up in you? Anybody want to share? Okay? Please. Thank you. Can you speak slower and louder? You were talking in the mic. So you got clear clarity on what's a priority and what's not a priority. Thank you.
This exercise related is I am not conscious of
You're not conscious of
that.
You're not conscious of death. The exercise brought up that you're really not conscious about death. Yeah, like we don't think about it. It's going to happen to everybody else. It's not going to happen to us. You got the reality that, like, wow, yeah, it can happen to me.
It can happen to me.
It can happen. It will happen. I'm not Christian, but it will happen to all of us. It will happen. It will happen. We really don't really. It was how do you have the comfortable for anybody to go through that a little bit? There's just some discomfort. There's a little bit, some discomfort. Some discomfort. Yeah. I just want to share one thing. It was one of my godbrothers was leaving his body, had cancer, and he had 5 months. And he had a rough emotional life, but it seemed to me like he was reading, he came to the doctor, read and chant. But it seemed to me like he thought he was just going to read and chant and hear, and then one day he was going to kind of, fall asleep. And, everything would just go away. He would just chant and hear, and then he would just fall asleep. But then he didn't realize that all these thoughts of what he had in this exercise start coming up. And they start kind of haunting you. And they start bothering you. And then you have to start processing it. And he had some tears. He was crying. And we really don't think about it. So, yeah, it's something to think about. So, does anybody else want to share what they got out of this at that experience? He's there, and then there, and then he's there. Okay, sorry, you got Mr. Next. Iskcon.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Yeah.
There's a sinking feeling that I didn't try enough.
Same feeling that you didn't try enough.
may miss the bus.
And you might miss the bus.
So that was a big fear.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just, the thought came that, was it possible, something that you said, which I would not like to delay.
Yeah.
So the many thoughts, one thought that came was, if there is some way I could stop hurting others and myself.
Ah. How can I stop hurting others and myself? Yeah, these are things to think about. They're really important, they're really valuable, and they're relevant. They're relevant, you know, and important. Please.
Somehow, recently, some relative was in hospital. I've seen last 2 weeks, I've seen many patients in comas. Right?
Ah.
So, when I asked this question, I see this condition of people like so many, this body has its requirements and hormones. So I saw that they are painful or some are totally unconscious. The first question, like you said, some have bad accident. The first question is how this person will be able to think something like the person, the body died, the mind, everything gets is to be able to even think that, what you should think about that condition and such.
There's something because the soul mind is different than the physical brain. There's consciousness. And even when we're in the womb, we're covered, right? We're covered, we're very unconscious. There's some consciousness there. There's a sense of something.
That is thinking, there's some thinking is conscious experience. Thinking when you get the person in such a state, you can think something, feel something.
Both. Definitely. Because the soul is consciousness. The soul is alive.
It has some close.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, you can see sometimes when people are in their deathbed, they'll see somebody coming. They can see it, and it's scary for them. So, yeah, it's something we got. What was some of the ladies want to share?
Listening to that comes like Krishna, please save me.
Krishna can say, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking, why did I run every second one time?
Why did I die in the second of my life? And we don't value the seconds. It's always not what we have. We take life for granted. Here, do you want to share something? We take life for granted. We take relationships for granted. We take our services for granted. We take our job for granted. We take Krishna for granted. For Krishna's sake, we take Krishna for granted. Yeah. And this is not meant to beat you up. This is like, we really need to contend and really think about how important is this life? This life we don't get human birth so easy. Out of all the species of life, human form of life is so rare. It's such an opportunity. And we hold on to regrets, we hold on to grudges. We go into rooms and there's certain people we can't look at. We ignore them, we avoid them. You were saying about the purpose of life is to develop our consciousness and to be conscious. So, where are we going unconscious in our life? Where are we distracting ourselves? What is it that's impeding our full Krishna consciousness? What are the things that are impeding it? Regrets impede our Krishna consciousness, right? Grudges, resentment, anger, envy, all these things cover our Krishna consciousness. And if we don't contend with them now, it's not like they're just going to disappear at the time of death. They're going to be right up there in our face. And we're going to think, why didn't I do something about this before? Oh my gosh, wait. Time's up. Game over. So, have any of you ever heard the saying that, people who have near-death experiences. They say that they see their whole life pass in front of them. Have you heard this? Well, actually, in reality, our life is passing in front of us right now. And it's actually passing in front of us slow enough that we can do something about it. Like, oh my gosh, it's not like it's flashing really fast. The question we want to ask ourselves is, are we running so fast that we don't have time to see our life passing in front of us? Are we just running and running and running and not even looking at our life? Are we not looking at our relationships? Are we just ignoring our relationships? What are we doing? So, I want to do a little hearing exercise. And if you are willing to be a little vulnerable, the person who's sitting next to you, if you could share maybe, does anybody want to share any of their regrets out loud in front of anybody? Do you want to share some of your regrets? I can't come all the way down here because my goodness. My screen doesn't go that far. So you want to share some of your regrets? Hare Krishna.
I want to share that my whole life I was protected by my Krishna consciousness. I was having so much about it, but still I am having no feeling for Krishna.
So that was a regret. Then you want to go through it. Okay. So, does anybody else have any regrets? Specific regrets? Okay.
Okay, someone else should speak.
Huh?
I've been speaking alone.
Okay.
And others should speak.
The people aren't raising their hand. Nobody wants to share their regrets out loud. We have the same people talking here. We're very regretful. I mean, we got a lot of regrets.
There's a very significant instruction from my spiritual master that I disobeyed around 20 years back, or didn't pay sufficient attention to, and that has changed my life.
That you didn't.
That I didn't pay heed to that
Okay.
instruction. If I had, it's one of those if only I had.
If only I had a few more minutes. Yeah. So, here we are. If only I could remember Krishna, if only I had done what my spiritual master said, if only I had a few more minutes. So did everybody write down priorities of if I had another chance what I wanted to create? If I had another chance to live again, Krishna said, okay, I'm going to send you back. You got one more chance. And then you can everybody write down things. I want to say to some other people. I know you've got a lot to say here. So does anybody want to share what they would want to create if they had another chance?
I would probably drop everything that I'm spending so much time doing right now and focus on things which are really important.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's not that we have to drop everything, but we actually rearrange our schedule. All the things that we're running around doing, it's like, okay, just readjust. When they take all those things a little slower and take all the other things up to the top of the list. So don't have to drop anything, but be reorganized, rearrange. Please.
Take care of finances and right good.
Take care of finances and right will. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's serious. Especially if you're a family person. When I did the seminar, the first time I did it was 2 years ago. I wrote a will. I cleaned up everything. maybe you don't even, but somebody might be like that. Anything else that we might do? I think I should have sat here. Stretch all the way.
Do we take water activities in Krishna's service? Like whatever you do in a day, like just related to devotional service. Whatever, it may be cooking prasad, doing whatever.
So whatever we do in our day, thinking about Krishna, connecting to Krishna. We're home cooking, or cooking for Krishna. We don't have to think, oh, I'm cooking for my family, whatever. We can think, I'm cooking for Krishna, and I'm going to give the remnants of my family. We can really change our consciousness. So I'm wondering, I really want you, guys, I think I'm stimulating, you want to say something? I think I'm stimulating this thought here, but it's maybe a little. Yes.
I'm going to get another chance. So my prayer, I will try to prioritize first of all.
You would what?
I will try to prioritize.
Prioritize, okay?
And if I'm going to do somewhere, then definitely I will try to say sorry to everything.
Sorry.
And if somebody has done wrong with me, I will try to forgive immediately.
Okay.
And I will try to develop Krishna consciousness among in my surrounding so that at last moment, means this time, I would develop that kind of consciousness. So, and also, final sign is somebody has already said, finance mental is that kind of activity for my family.
Right. Thank you. Before the seminar started, just a second, I was thinking, well, what would I do? So I immediately wrote a text to my 3 kids, and I just told them I love them. So, because I thought, well, what if I don't make it to the seminar? So, once in a while, I keep doing that, just telling the people in our lives that we care about. Brahmacharis have friends. You may not say I love you, but you can say I really appreciate you. I really, so thank you so much. Can we express our gratitude? Can we express our appreciation to people? Who are the people in our life who would appreciate if we had another chance? Do you want to say something?
Hare Krishna. मैं हिंदी बोल तो ये ना अगर मुझे दूसरा मौका मिला है मेरा बड़ी इच्छा है मैं दूर करना चाहता हूँ सबसे बड़ा तो कभी कोई भी मुझे कुछ बोलता है सिखाता है तो मैं उसको अपनी बुद्धि से अपने तरीके से करने की कोशिश करता हूँ हमेशा ताकि ऐसा वो करता हूँ कि मुझे सिखाए तो मैं जैसा सिखाया वैसा ही कर सकूँ
So that will become the biggest tool because now I try to justify what they're saying and I'm becoming that. So if I become a fool, then I will learn something.
So instead of just doing the opposite of being intelligent and become a fool, how about if you just start opening up to learning more and asking questions? Can you tell me? Or can you understand that?
No, someone is translating, so here.
Oh, he's here. Okay.
I will बोल रहे हैं कि इससे पहले कि आप ये सोचें कि हम रूप बन गया है क्या इंटेलिजेंट बनो बोल रहे हैं कि आप अपने आप को खोलेंगे ताकि आप डिसीजन सीख सको इसके लिए बहुत बढ़िया बहुत
You're a good translator, Mother.
Yeah.
You're a good translator.
She's going to be the next one.
Yeah.
I got that notes man.
I told her last time, right? I told her last time. So what I'd like you to do is turn to the person next to you, do it in 2s or 3s if you have to, and I want you to spend 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes each, sharing some things that, and if you don't want to, there's certain things on your list you don't want to share that are too private, you don't have to share them, but if you can, share some of these, just talk about them a little bit, because I just extracted a few things from your head. So turn to a partner, somebody who's next to you, people, turn to the person next to you, and see. Here's one. So share. So the people, one second. The persons closest to this wall over here start first. That's him. And then when I say switch, then the person closest to this wall will speak. So I'll give you 2.5 minutes each. And we're sharing whatever on our list we want to share. What we discovered, what's important to us, what regrets we have, who we might want to say we're sorry to, who we might want to forgive. Just start sharing what you discovered with your partner. Switch the other person now, share. Okay. Make sure everybody gets a chance. It's a diet conversation. Time's up. So, it seems like there's a lot of shit you can just share with one or two people and to share it from the whole room, right? God's like, wow, I heard so much talking. Yeah, it's great. Everybody was involved. And so now I'm here. You don't have to share what you shared, but I want you to share how it was for you to talk about and share your regrets, your concerns, and your kind of like what you want to do differently. How was it to share? How did that feel?
What I realized was that I existed in such a superficial because there were so many deep secret things that probably I had never even thought existed in my conscious mind. And I thought that those are the things I was thinking of, which I never thought I would.
Exactly. We're so busy out here, we don't even realize what's going on. And then when we take the time and we're like, wow, there's some stuff in there. There's some stuff in there. Yes. Will you guys share? Please.
Even relaxing and light.
Who else? And don't relax and like actually talk about these. You can carry it around. Oh my gosh, I'm like so happy. Now you just kind of like put them on the chair for a minute. They might come back. They might pick them back up again. You can pick them up for 1 hour in class. But now for the time being, you got them off of our heads. Put them down. Yeah. That's what consciousness is about. Clear the consciousness. Clear those things that are boggling our mind, that are exhausting us, that take a lot of mental energy and mental space. You know, just like on your computer, you have a certain number of gigabytes or whatever they have. And it takes up memory. There's a lot of things we're holding on to mentally that take up a lot of our space. And they take up a lot of our time and really distract us. Okay, so can I have other people sharing what they got out of this exercise? Share it.
I just realized after talking to you, this anxiety, I'm really so
decide to share with the people that you. How was that to share? It's listening to what other people are sharing is also what I want to ask you.
I was able to compare my consciousness and I was able to invite my colleagues what related to that. So I also have the same problem, something like what is related when I have okay, so do I do utilize that.
Yeah, you actually get to see that maybe we're made up of the same stuff. Maybe we have some of the same words, the same maybe I'm not the only one that feels this way. Maybe other people feel that way too. And when we hear other people share, like, oh yeah, I feel that way too. That happens to me too. Anybody else over here? On the inside, men are a little shyer. Anybody else? I don't have eyes in the back of my head, so thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Most importantly, what I felt is that the absorption from self shifted. The thought was that whatever guilt is there to have hurted others or have imposed on others, how to come across to them and convey to them for the fault or for the shortcomings.
Yeah, because when we hold these things inside, they go around our head. We feel guilty, we feel shameful. It's just kind of like, and now that we discovered this, now I can do something about it actually. I can do something. This is called completion. We want to complete all the loose ends, right? Right? Before we go, we want to tie up the loose ends. So, just like in wiring in a house, the electric wires, right? Before the building is done, sometimes there's wires sticking out. They have to put the outlets on. They have to put the switches on, right? Well, just imagine having a building and having all these wires and they're hooked up to the electric box and they don't have the lights or the switches on, and the wires are sticking out, and someone puts the switch and turns on the electricity. And there are workers in there, they don't know that the electricity is turned on, and they bump into the loose wires, right? What happens? Shock. We've got a lot of loose wires, a lot of loose ends in our life. And there's a lot of current and energy flowing through those loose ends, right? And these loose ends and these wires are here, and they touch your wire, and then they touch your wire, and we're like sparking each other, and then we're like getting upset with each other. Why are you hurting me? And then the other person's, why are you hurting me? And it's all these loose ends. All these loose ends. So, in our tradition, when someone leaves their body, they cremate them, and then we put the ashes, and then they float down in the ashes, right? What if we could, take all these loose ends, tie them up, finish them up, put them on a leaf, and float them down in the ashes, like completion. Complete when we're all through with something. So we're running on a race, we're trying to get to the place, going back to Godhead, right? We're running the race, we're going to get back to Godhead, we're going to finally become pure. We're running this race, but really, there's nowhere to get. It's about our consciousness. Back to God, the holy Dhamma, Krishna consciousness, is not out there. It's right here. It's right here. We are perfect, whole, and complete. and you're covered with layers of upsets, judgments about ourselves, opinions, frustrations. We're covered. And if we just took these, complete them, oh, I heard that person, talk to that person, send out the edges, just keep doing it. And we did that, we practiced that every day. Wow, it would be like the drain that's all clogged up would be flowing, right? What happens when we're clogged up inside? We're constipated. Oh my gosh, there's so much pain, right? There's all these toxins in our body, all cramping us up. We gotta get this stuff, this toxic stuff, we gotta get it flowing. And when we practice taking time to clean up whatever on our list, then every single day it can be clear. And then we can approach like, and then we upset something in the moment. We won't wait. We'll clean it up then or the next day. We'll clean it up right away. So let's just take an example. Say this water here. Say it's juice and it's not water. And I knock it. Spill it on the floor, right? And I don't clean it up. And then I walk, and everybody else walks through it, and it gets sticky. And then we start walking around, and then the whole floor becomes sticky. And then nobody wants to walk in this room because the room's all sticky. Sticky, and the dirt starts sticking to it. This is how it is when we don't clean up our messes. It's not my fault. Somebody put it close to the edge of the table. They should clean it up. I'm not going to clean it up. Why did they put it so close to the table? It's their fault. It's not mine. I'm not cleaning it up. It's not my mess. Who loses when we start blaming somebody else and don't clean up our side of the mess? Who loses? Who loses? Everybody loses. We all lose. We all lose. Because we don't want to take responsibility. So I want to give you a definition of responsibility. But first of all, I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think responsibility is. What is responsibility? What does it mean to you? The word responsibility. What do you think of? What do you associate with responsibility? What do you associate with the word responsibility?
Mother, for me, responsibility is something that's my duty towards others, and towards which I have to achieve that quality that I have to do my hardest to do it.
Okay, duty, I have to put my heart and soul into the duty. What else? What do you have to pass it down the same people? One word, one or two words.
Surrender and my responsibility.
Surrender. Okay, pass it down.
Like in Sant Nagar, like in Sant Nagar, just following instruction, given the seniors for the advanced notice. The point of interaction is very practice. Trying to work hard to follow instructions.
So following instructions, doing what you're told.
Our authorities.
Our instructions. Responsibility. How about you?
Do the needful.
Do the needful. Okay.
Where there's, in other words, serve where there is necessity.
Serve others as necessary.
To serve where there is necessity.
To serve where there is necessity. So, does anybody think that there's a little, oh, we got some more hands up here? Wow, this is great.
Why don't you pass the mic along, Mr. Morton?
Responsibility, like one or two words.
See, I agree with everyone, whatever is said. But
we should take care. Other than we should act responsibly is we should not hurt others while doing my duty also. I take along others. That is also responsibility.
So responsibility for how we treat others, not just for the job done. Like that.
Take ownership.
Taking ownership. I can't come that far.
Mataji, responsibilities, like there are accountabilities involved. Accountability, my accountability.
My accountability. So sometimes it's responsibility kind of like an obligation. Did I just like unplug? Obligation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Responsibility towards the human good that we have organization.
Responsibility to our human birth. The ability to respond, that's a good one, ability to respond. So responsibility often feels like accountability, duty, sometimes obligation, maybe a little burden, and maybe responsibility could be blame or shame. Like you're responsible for that mess. It's your fault. Sometimes we misuse the word responsibility. So I'd like to just lighten up responsibility a little bit and take it to the point that some of you taking it to the point of making it like a gift rather than a burden, rather than a duty, rather than an obligation. Responsibility is our willingness to really declare that we really have something to do with what's going on in our life. We have something to do. We're causing something in our life. We have something to do. It's not just like happening to us. We have something karmically to do with what's happening to us. So, we could take that as bad. But responsibility is not obligation, and it's not blame and shame. It's actually a gift. Responsibility, taking ownership that we are cause in the matter of our life, is good news because then we can ask ourselves, what do I want to cause in my life? What am I causing right now? Am I causing disruption? Am I causing upsets? Am I causing frustrations? Or am I causing connection? Am I causing compassion? Am I causing love? Am I causing simplicity? What am I causing in my life? We have a choice of what we're causing, and that's kind of the question we asked at the end. What would you want to do if you had another chance? So, responsibility, our big responsibility in this life, is what we said in the beginning of the class. This life is our responsibility to actually develop our consciousness. It's our responsibility, when you use this human form of life, for taking steps forward, spiritually, for honoring our soul. That's our responsibility. Now, just like sometimes we have servants or we hire guards and they do some of the services around our house and the temple, right? We outsource some of the activities that need to be done, right? We outsource. Well, we can't outsource people to chant our rounds. That's can't outsource anybody to do that. So we can't outsource the responsibilities of our soul. These are our individual responsibilities, and only we can really take that, and that's a gift. That's our gift. At the end of life, right, we're going to fly our own airplane, right? Even our guru can't fly our plane.
Yeah.
Our guru is giving us instructions, giving us guidelines. The scriptures are giving us guidelines. The devotees are giving us feedback. Sometimes we don't like to hear the feedback. They're giving us feedback. Who will keep you talk a little more gentle when you give instructions? I might be able to accept what you say when you use a tone of voice that's louder than I like. I have trouble hearing what you're saying. I can accept feedback. And those are all gifts. These are gifts. These are gifts. This is what we're here for in this life. We're here to clean up our karmic messes, to clean up whatever we spill. So the advantage of dying before we die is understanding what we're holding on to. How is our operating? What is our operating system? I call the ego the operating system. What is our operating system doing? What habits are we holding on to? What are we attached to? And it's our job to let it go. It's our job to tie up all these little tasks and cap all these wires, make them useful, turn them into plugs or lights. That's using, that's dovetailing. You've got wires. Why do we even have loose wires? Why don't we make them useful? And put a light there, put a switch there, instead of having loose wires that are shocking everyone. So this life is about completion, completing. And there's completing we can do with people. We can complete with our parents. I was really feeling upset about that you wouldn't let me be a devotee, and I was holding a grudge against you, but I see you were really only loving me and you were concerned about my security and how I was going to manage life. And I can see that it is your love. And I'm grateful. Thank you for giving me this life, this birth. Thank you. Do we ever say thank you to our parents? How many of you have ever said thank you to your parents? Ever? Okay. Everybody has. How many of you regularly say thank you to your parents? How many of you regularly appreciate your parents? Regularly. How many of you say thank you to your kids? How many of you regularly appreciate your kids? Yeah, it's easier to do your kids than your parents. Seriously, these are little things that we think are nothing, but they're actually huge things. They're huge things. Huge things about completion. So I want you to take a couple minutes, and I want you to make a list of the things that you want to complete as a result of this seminar. What are some of the things that you want to tie up? Who do you want to talk to? Make it specific. I am going to talk to Uncle Joe, and I'm going to tell him I'm sorry I didn't talk to him for the last year because I was, thinking I was better than him. And I just want to say I'm sorry for ignoring me for a year. Write down the names of the people you want to talk to, the names of the people you want to compete with, the names of people that you want to just really have a conversation with, so that when they come in the same room, you don't have to walk out or ignore them, so that you can look at avoiding their eye contact. So write down all of those things that you want to complete. That's the first exercise. I'll give you 2 minutes to do that. And these are things that you're going to take on after the seminar. We want to make it real. We can talk about this and have a lot of fun and think that, oh, yeah, that was a nice seminar. That was kind of neat. And then we just go back to life as it is. Really? How many times do we do that? We do it all the time. That was really inspiring. Wow, how did you do that? It was really great that you did that. That was nice to hear how you did that. No, this is for you. This is your life. This is your life. You can't really live your life until you die to all these things which are not allowing you to live. When you die, before you die, there's a space for you to live. Be alive, feel alive, connect to people. So make a list of the people that you want to complete with, that you want to say you're sorry to, that you want to forgive, that you want to let go of grudges, that you want to say thank you to, that you want to say I love you to. Write down all those names and what you're going to say. And I'll give you 3 or 4 minutes, and the brahmacharis have to write twice as many as everybody else. I'll give you a couple minutes. Take this on, you don't have to do this, but I'm telling you, if you do take this on in your life, you will have a different life after the seminars. Sometimes we imagine and we think that would be great, that would be really nice, that would be cool, but we don't do anything. So take it on. It's your life. It's your life. It's your life. Nobody can do it for you. So take a couple minutes and write those things down. Names of the people that you want to have a conversation with. Just like it's the last time you're going to talk to them. Try to be quiet when you're doing this. This is a private exercise. Focus on your paperwork. Is everybody done? How many of you need more time? How many of you need a little more time? Okay, I'll give you about 30 more seconds. It seems like everybody's almost done. So, who do you want to appreciate in life? Who do you want to say thank you to? Okay. So now you're going to Sincere sadhana. Sincere sadhana.
First thing is I need to change.
Okay. You got some things that you can work work on. There you go, great, fun. Krishna's not giving you a boring life.
Become a Rishi.
Become a rishi. That's a good one.
I want to say something.
You want to chant? I didn't hear it. Say again. Chanting, okay. Yes.
I can be ready to do my spiritual master's.
Do what your spiritual master says.
Gratitude.
Gratitude, you're going to express gratitude to your spiritual master. Yeah, write a letter. Go for it. Seriously. Nice. Do it for real. Make it real. Write a letter, write a note. Do it for real. Don't just say you're going to thank you. Do it for real. Your spiritual master's a person, right? Right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Gratitude toward devotees whom I am because of them I am able to do spiritual spiritual activities. I will also thank all the devotees.
Yeah.
By meeting persons.
Yeah, personally say thank you. Thank you for helping me get up in the morning. Thank you for. Yeah, there you go. How nice is that? Sweet.
Krishna, I want to be more sincere towards my responsibilities. And so I want to be thankful to devotees and especially my congregation leader who had told me to Iskcon.
Okay, thank you. Let's try to keep it one sentence. That's good though.
Focusing on setting my priorities right.
Focusing on setting your priorities right.
My different college relationships which I have broken out of my false ego.
Acknowledging relationships you've been ignoring.
I would like to be more specific and clear with my thoughts and aims.
Okay, specifically clear your thoughts and intentions.
I want to be more lovable and starting appreciating others.
Learn more level and appreciate
Appreciating others.
I would like to appreciate my family. Who has helped me to be in your
And Shiva from there, I would like to practice some Krishna consciousness ability, which is the only solution for all the problems.
Not before that. Starting tomorrow. Not before that. Starting tomorrow. Okay? I need meditation support. Again, meditation support like that. And I will support you. Okay? Improving your relationship is more important.
I would like to meet myself, those around me.
Heal yourself and those around you.
Try all the music, dance, music, and forget everyone, and focus your approach.
Okay. 3 sentences. 1 sentence.
Concentrate on and
I'm sorry? Concentrate on emotional activities.
I will thank everyone who has in my life for everything.
Thank everybody you like that. How long is it do every day? Again.
I want to add.
Oh, I gotta hear information.
I have to love my conversion to God.
Practicing humility and compassion to others.
I want to create good relationships with outside devotees. I want to be grateful to all.
When you have grateful and create good relationships.
I want to be thankful to my wife because she's the driving force to push me to Krishna.
That's important.
Thank you. I want to buy as much as humanly possible because this has given me a lot of life.
Die to live. Die in order to live fully.
I'm ready to die. Ready to die.
Let's listen to what everybody shares. This is relevant for us too.
I will remember death.
I'm sorry?
Remember
Death. Remember the death will come at any moment. Remembering death has us really conscious
cautiously.
I know cautiously, but not consciously. Because cautiously is fearful, consciously is creative. Yeah.
To be more compassionate in my relationship.
Passion, practice of passion.
I would like to hold less of this.
Okay, how about saying you're sorry once in a while? Okay, there you go. There you go. And then there won't be grudges. Yeah. You want to say positively how much more the grudge.
Performing emotional activities like last week. Performing emotional activities just like doing the last week.
This is your last day? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Radha.
I would like to do my surrender.
And surrender.
Surrender.
And food quality time to my family.
Good quality time with your family. That's one of the best in mind. I can spend enough time with my family. I mean, it's a study. A lot of people regret not spending time with their family.
So sorry, I think right away.
Exactly. Say sorry and right away instead of waiting until tomorrow that never comes.
Truly and peacefully and happily and faith in God.
Then truthfully have it peacefully with faith in God.
I procrastinate a lot by not implementing and consciously.
So consciously taking active steps. Yes. Tomorrow you're going to do something, right? Tomorrow.
So I will be more cautious by being the relationships with our partners.
Conscious of your relationship with all these beliefs. We're almost there. Keep paying attention. This is going with all of us.
Yeah, this is a new one. Okay. You don't say to the leader.
Sana. Okay.
Chant,
Chant. Yeah. Gosh. I'm going to die tomorrow. Krishna's right there.
So to give up envy.
So letting go of conversation, jealousy, servant, being a servant.
I want to thank you so much and face that is so much.
Okay, so I want you to write on the note. Okay? Do it for real. Be careful with conscious and emotional service. Yeah. Please pay attention, please. Attentively chanting. Reading, okay. Taking care of your relationship with devotees. Using nice and sorry like every night. That's great. Next one. Thank you and sorry. Those are great words. Thank you. Thank you. Purify my consciousness. What way should we purify your consciousness? What activity can you do? Follow your guru. Okay. Let's try to get specifics, let's not just be the Krishna conscious answer. Let's just make a specific thing. Actually, the reality. Yes. Following instructions. Just give us a couple more minutes here, please. Let's pay attention. We're almost here. Please. Okay, so you're sorry to those who may have disappointed. Yes? What? Polo? Chant better and not harmful. And what All Vaishnavas and devotees. Specifically, the people on your list. Start with the people that you wrote on your list. It's not a vague thing. It's vague. It may never happen. The more specific it is, the more likely it is to happen.
I want to be more responsible and prepare my consciousness to fly my way back to God and be free of everything I do.
Being clear. Start with being clear. That'll clear your path.
I'm sorry.
Count your blessings.
Say thanks to Lord and Holy.
Say thanks to the devotees.
Monthly life will improve my relationships with my family members by giving quality time and also the devotees.
Yeah, they involve time for the family members and the devotees. We're almost there. We only have a few more people. Please pay attention. Yeah. Giving priority to spiritual nurture. Okay. Do not take time for granted. Okay. Go ahead. Tying up the loose ends. That means you have to know what loose ends there are.
Mataji, this seminar started with this relation exercise. So, I have this realization that I'm not going to stand for 2 months, being best on this moment instead of regressing in the past and carrying over practice or doing the future.
So letting go of the past and living in the present.
To dedication of power to the this stuff that
Dedication to the office staff. So you have more quality time with the office.
I want to open my heart for this so that I can advance in this future.
Open your life to facilitator. So that means sharing. Honest and nice.
Hare Krishna. I will try my best not to complete muffins and try to stop my pot family and I will more focus on my chanting Krishna family first.
So when you find fault and you find it made an offense, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
I will talk to the devotees on this and look at so I can always talk to them and say thank you and what we do in chanting is our
Yes. Say thank you and good job.
I don't like to be consciousness.
Consciously. Consciously. Pass it around. Got a few more people. Go ahead.
Traditionally, I know very good cooking, but nowadays people think people are not able to do it. So from today on, I'm going to start learning how to appreciate what we are doing for them.
Okay. Restart your life. Breathe your life. Huh? No, they all did. They all did. You weren't paying attention. Go ahead. I can't hear you. Talking on the right side.
By the way, I want to more assistance to my services and pizza also. I want to take time for my friends.
Do time with your parents. Nice.
I want to introspect
Introspect. Right.
I have so many desires for Krishna consciousness to do something else.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Only one thing at a time. Just do one thing at a time. Return. Huh? Appreciation. I'm sorry. You did. You did.
First, thank you, Krishna for my experience is all here. And wanted to put up with regular reading Prabhupada's notes and chanting and doing
regular reading and chanting. Thank you, Sukavaha. 5 more people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I will prioritize my life, and be softer by giving to the people.
That is specific. Softer giving.
I will stop being lazy and do something that will be like
How about being kind to yourself and focusing on being kind to others? Start being kind to yourself. Don't call yourself names. Honor your blessing. Thank you.
I would like to do my chanting with full vigor, and I would like to track and take all the housing questions.
Take proper custody.
responsibility and attitude.
Yeah, responsibility is a gift. It is. Yes? Very food. Yes. Okay, write a letter. I want you to do it in reality, not just in your head. Please.
I will not stop communicating with the those whom I am so I immediately communicate and information for
Leave it up. Do it up first, that's the thing.
Mataji, I want to serve my Guru Spiritual Master till last breath of my life.
Okay. Seriously, tomorrow we're going to, what are you going to do this group tomorrow? Write a letter. Say your name. Start here. And Sean. One more minute, please. 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 Yeah, tomorrow morning at Iskcon. First thing at Iskcon, let's say thank you to Lord Krishna for everything has given to me. Okay. And at 7 we can say sorry for all my mistakes. Real people, not just the universe, but real people. Okay. Go ahead. Hare Krishna, I will teach you where to find out. Okay. You press 1 to share something. And then what about the two in the back? You want to come and say something? Yes, no? Yes? Right. I am sure about Guru Maharaj को एक्सपोर्ट की और दूसरा फासला के बेटे को एक्सपोर्ट की जो एक ब्रह्मचारी है उसको देख के मुझे भक्ति में बहुत आनंद आती है मुझे बहुत गाइड करते हैं मैं इसमें लेकिन काम को हमेशा भक्ति में सेवा करती हूँ Okay, thank you. Please. And then pass the mic up.
Hare Krishna. I want to start connection with my Lord. It's a long desire.
Reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Start with what? 15 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, 1 chapter a day? 30 minutes a day. Perfect. That's a good What did I say? Okay, how are you going to surrender? What are you going to do? One thing you're going to do to surrender. Surrender is very vague. What are you going to do to surrender? Which devotee? Give me a name.
He wants to serve Lord Krishna.
Who?
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna? Okay. Try to make it some specifics. You can pass that mic up if you want. The more specific we are in our focus, the more likely it is to happen. We have been hearing the word surrender for a long time. What does surrender mean to you? What does surrender look like? What is it in reality for you? That's what we want to check in. The more specific you can get, specific, the more likely it's to happen. So it's 9 o'clock. I just wanted to say that whatever we don't complete and finish up, whatever we don't let go of, whatever we don't let go of, whatever we don't finish in this life, what happens to it? Carry it with us in our next life, right? And the more we let go, the more we take off our attachments to being upset, holding grudges, our anger. The more we let go, the more energy we have to live and serve. Dying before we die simply means that we're being able to live fully. We're simplifying our life. We're letting go of all the things that complicate and mix up and pollute our consciousness. And we're opening up to a whole new perspective. So, I know it's 9 o'clock and I'm committed to ending on time. I didn't give you any time for questions. I thought it was important that everybody kind of say one thing, because only if you really take this on into your life will your life change. Otherwise, this is just another 2-hour seminar. Chalk it up. I went to that one, I went to that class, I heard that movie, and it's not going to change your life one bit. Who's responsible for transforming your life? It's never out there. It's always in here. So thank you for your time and attention. Anybody who wants to ask a question, I'm willing to stay. I also want to give you the freedom to leave if you have other things to do, like take rest, so you can get up. So it's up to you. You figure out if you want me to stay longer.
It's tomorrow's working day also.
Yeah, it's a working day. Yeah. So anybody who wants to ask a specific question here, I have a few books.
That's the one.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we can all die before we die, but at least today we should, from our heart, express the gratitude to Sukavaha for sparing so much of Krishna's time, Krishna's service, for Krishna's souls. Hare Sukavaha Mataji ki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. This book is titled Revealing Your Heart. How many of you revealed your heart today? Honestly. Tried. Some of you. Many of you tried. Somebody said she was feeling very light. Revealing the heart, the practice of compassion. And what Mataji preaches is what she practices, which is compassion. This is about the practice of compassion. I recommend strongly, this is a strong testimonial. I have read this book. I continue to read this book. I recommend this book. I gifted this book. I will purchase this book for others. I want you to all please pick up this book today. Become autographed by Mother. It's a great opportunity. Please don't miss this. And remember to have Parthasarthi as a lead. And remember, die before time.
Thank you.